NCM Afrik-Ann.
Hello fashion lovers, welcome back. Today's video is about making a basic sleeve pattern for an adult. And what I'll be needing to make this sleeve pattern is my pair of scissors, my marker, my ruler, my measuring tape, and my pattern paper. And the measurements I'm going to be needing to make this basic sleeve pattern is my round armhole measurement, my bicep, my sleeve length, and my round sleeve. The next step I'm going to take is to fold my pattern paper into two. So I'm just going to fold what should be enough for my basic sleeve. So I'm just going to make a straight line at the top of my pattern paper. So this is going to be my starting line. So the next thing I'm going to do, from my starting line, I'm going to come down by 5 inches. This 5 inches is going to be my sleeve cap height. And the next measurement I'm going to be taking is my sleeve length. I'll be using 10 inches for my sleeve length, but you can make yours longer or shorter depending on your preference. So this is my starting point. From this point to this point is my cap height, that's my sleeve cap height, and this is my sleeve length. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go in by 4 inches from this center. I'm going to go in by 4 inches, and from this point where I went in by 4 inches, whatever measurement I have from this point to this point, I'm just going to divide it by 2, which is 2.5. Remember, my cap height is 5 inches, so 5 inches divided by 2 is 2.5. I'm just going to mark my 2.5 inches here. So from this 4 inches, I came down by 2.5 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do, from this point, I'm going to make a curve to meet this point. And from this point, I'm going to make another curve to meet this line. So after curving my armhole like this, the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to be placing my armhole measurement. My round armhole measurement is 18 inches. 18 inches divided by 2 is 9 inches. So I'm just going to place my tape like this and measure out my 9 inches. So this is 9 inches, and I'm going to be adding 1.5 inches for my seam allowance. So from this point, I'm just going to come down by 1 inch. So I'll be taking my bicep measurement from this point where I came down by 1 inch. So my bicep, which is the largest part of my arm, is 14 inches. 14 inches divided by 2 is 7 inches, plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance is 8.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark 8.5 inches here. So the next measurement I'm going to be taking is my round sleeve, and I'll be taking that where I have my sleeve length. My round sleeve is 11 inches. 11 inches divided by 2 is 5.5, plus 1.5 inches sewing allowance. So I'm going to add my seam allowance, and I'll be connecting these points together. So after marking this out, I'll come back to my armhole, and I'm going to look for the midpoint of this armhole. I'm going to look for the center of my armhole. You know, my armhole is 9 inches after dividing into 2. So 9 inches divided by 2 is 4.5 inches. So I'm just going to mark 4.5 inches. And where I have my 4.5 inches, I'm just going to come down by 1/2 inch. So from this point, I'm just going to make a little curve like this, and I will connect like this. So the essence of doing this is to avoid bulging around the armhole after making your dress. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and cut this out. So after cutting out, This curve is meant to be just at the front of my sleeve, so I'm just going to open this up and cut this out. So after cutting, you should have your basic sleeve looking like this. So I'll be using this to show you how to cut out the left sleeve so you don't end up having two right sleeves. I'm just going to name this, I'm just going to label this my right sleeve. So we are going to cut out the left sleeve, and this is the technique we are going to be using to cut out the left sleeve so you don't end up having two right sleeves. I'm going to open up my pattern paper again. So let's assume this is your fabric, so this should be the right side facing up, and let's assume this is the right side of my fabric, so I'm going to place right side facing right side. So I'm just going to place like this, and I'll use the right sleeve to cut out the left sleeve. So open it up like this, don't cut this way, if not you end up having two right sleeves. So open up your fabric like this, right side facing right side, very important please. So after cutting, I'm going to label this the left sleeve. So I want you to take note of something. You can see where I have these curves on my sleeve are opposite each other. You can see they are facing each other. So if you don't do it this way, you end up cutting two right sleeves or two left sleeves. So you wouldn't want to make such a mistake. So if you follow this pattern, you're going to have two accurate sleeves without mixing things up. So this is my right sleeve and this is my left sleeve. So this is basically all you need to do to get a perfect basic sleeve. Let me know what you think about this tutorial in the comment section. Thanks for watching and see you in my next video. Bye.